despotic o authoritarian leadership ay isang klase ng pamumuno na sila yung may control sa kanilang management. Bihira silang humingi ng tulong or approval sa iba. Gusto nila na sila mismo yung gumagawa ng sarili nilang hakbang. At once na ma-finalize na yung mga decision, ay ipinapatupad agad nila ito. Ang advantage nito ay mas mapabilis yung decision making dahil nga isa lang siya sa nagdedesisyon. Next is, ma-improve yung productivity ng mga workers dahil sa mabilisan na decision. At last, yung reduce employee dahil yung leader siya na gumagawa at nag-iisip kaya nababawasan yung stress at gawain ng empleyado. Ang disadvantage ay lack of creative solution at mas dumepende pa sa skills ng leader. Example, hotel. A hotel manager decide on a new room service policy without asking for the staff input. Tourism. A tour operator decide on the itinerary without considering preference of the trades.
Democratic leadership, also known as participative leadership, this style involves the leader encouraging input from team members when making decisions. It fosters collaboration and empowers team members to contribute ideas. Sa demokratikong pamumuno daw po, ang leader ay nagbibigay ng pagkakataon sa bawat member ng grupo na magbigay ng kanilang opinyon at idea. Hindi lamang ang leader ang nagdidesisyon, kundi ang buong grupo ay nakikilahok sa proseso ng pagpaplano at paggawa ng desisyon. Ito ay nagbibigay ng equal rights at pagpapahalaga sa bawat isa sa grupo. Nagbibigay din ng pagkakataon para masanay ang pagiging leader ng bawat miyembro.
Transformational leadership. Transformational leaders inspire and motivate their followers by setting high expectations and providing a compelling vision for the future. They often lead by example and encourage innovation and change. An example could be a CEO who inspires employees with a compelling vision for the company's future, encourages them to think creatively, and empowers them to take ownership of their work. Advantage: enhance performance. Transformational leaders often cultivate a culture of high performance and engagement, leading to increased productivity and innovation. Employee development. They focus on individual growth and development, providing opportunities for employees to expand their skills and capabilities. Positive organizational culture. Transformational leaders create a positive work environment where employees feel valued and motivated, leading to higher job satisfaction and retention. Disadvantage: dependency on leader. There can be a reliance on the leader for direction and guidance, which may inhibit independent decision-making and initiative among team members. Risk or burnout. The high expectation and intensity of transformational leadership can lead to burnout among both leaders and followers if not managed effectively.
Transactional leadership focus on maintaining order and using rewards and punishment to motivate their team member. They emphasize clear roles, goals, and performance expectation. Let's give some scenario in transactional leadership. Sa hotel, may isang manager ng hotel na nag-uugyok sa mga kawani sa pamamagitan ng pagbibigay ng pananaw ng hotel na maging pinakamahusay na lungsod. Kumbaga, may isang manager na magbibigay ng saloobin o pananaw niya sa isang hotel upang ang maging dating dito ay pinakamahusay na lungsod. Pangalawa, sa turismo naman, may isang CEO ng kumpanya ng tour ang magbibigay ng inspirasyon sa mga empleyado na may pananaw na maging ang pinaka-eco-friendly ng kumpanyang turismo. Ang advantage naman ng transactional leadership ay nagbibigay ito ng inspirasyon at nag-uugyok sa mga kapunan at hinihikayat ang mga pagbabago at pinabubuti nito ang pagiging isang produktibo. Disadvantage naman is baka maging mahirap, mapanganib, at mapansin ang mga detalye. Lalo na kung hindi magiging maayos sa pamamahala nito, baka humantong ito sa burnout.
Types of leadership. Servant leadership. This approach prioritizes the well-being and development of followers. Servant leaders serve their team members by understanding their needs, empowering them, and facilitating their growth. The three advantage of servant leadership. Employees participating in decision-making process feel more assured that their opinions are respected when business challenges are being faced. Second, staff grow and development their skills more rapidly in an environment that supports development, decision-making, growth opportunities, and cooperate between teams. Last, servant leaders gain respect from their employees due to their kind of and gentle nature. Ang advantage naman po ng servant leadership is most leader are and managers will not have grown up with the servant attitude, so it can take time and effort for leaders to change their style of leading. Second po, in servant leadership styles, even employees who are not leaders will be involved in decision making, so it may take longer for decision to be collected and conclusion reached. Last po, in times of crisis, staff usually look to leaders to take control and make immediate decision. Sometimes, the servant leadership does not encourage. Example, in hotel, provide warm and friendly service, resolve guests' concern or complaints, and create a comfortable and inviting atmosphere. In tourism naman po, engage in active listening and show true empathy for their team members. They try to comprehend, to share the viewpoints, issues, and goals of their workers.
Charismatic leader is a leadership style where the leader uses their charm, persuasion, and personality to inspire and influence others. These leaders often possess strong communication skills, confidence, and a compelling vision that attracts followers and motivates them to achieve common goals. Ang ibig sabihin po is, ang isang charismatic leader ay ginagamit ang kanilang amor o husay sa pananalita upang maimpluwensya ng ibang tao para maabot ang kanilang goal. Kadalasan sa mga ganitong klase ng leader ay mahusay sa pananalita at may confidence sa sarili. Bawa na lang po niyan sa hotel industry. Ang isang charismatic leader ay may malinaw na layunin na mag-welcome at bigyan ng pinakamagandang experience ang mga guests gamit ng kanilang husay sa pananalita. Ginagamit rin nila ang kanilang kakayahan na manghikayat upang impluwensyahan ang kanyang mga katrabaho upang pagbigyan ng magandang experience at services sa mga guests. So, another example po na sa tourism industry. Example po nun is yung mga tour guide. Matuturing po natin charismatic leader yan dahil hindi lamang nagpapasyal at nagsasalita sa harap ng mga turista. Kundi gumagawa sila ng mga kapapanabik na kwento or history ng lugar. Hindi lamang upang maipakita ang lugar, ngunit nagbibigay ng kwento na matatandaan din ng mga turista. So, hindi po mawawala ang disadvantages of charismatic leader. Una po is dependency on leader. May time na wala yung leader nila. Sila po, nakaasa lang sila dun sa leader. So, ang mangyayari po is, hindi na sila makapagbigay ng magandang service or experience. Kasi nga po, yung leader lang yung may kayang gawin yun. So, next is risk of narcissism. Narcissism is yung mataas na po yung tingin sa sarili or mahangin na. The next po yung potential for manipulation. Minsan ginagamit to sa mga mali tulad ng manipulation upang makuha ang bagay na kanilang gusto o para sa kanilang sariling kapakanan. So, sa charismatic leader, may disadvantage tayo. Di naman pwede mawala ng Advantage of charismatic leader. Inspires motivation. Sila yung nagpupush sa mga katrabaho nila na mag-work ng mas mabuti dahil kadalasan sa mga charismatic leader ay inspiring tignan. Dahil kung titignan mo sila, parang nakakagaan yung presence nila. Dahil sa enthusiasm rin nila na magtrabaho. Next is, build strong relationship. Kaya nila mag-build ng relationship sa ibang staff or employee dahil nga mahusay sila sa pananalita. Which is great naman po para mabandang relationship at teamwork kung lahat sila magkakakilala at may iisang goal. Next po is drives change and innovation. Ang mga charismatic leader, kadalasan sa kanila, innovative and creative. Magaling sila magbigay ng suggestion or action plan para sa mas ikabubuti ng kumpanya or para makapag-provide ng better service.
Laissez-faire leadership. In this hands-off approach, leaders provide minimal guidance or direction to their team members, allowing them a high degree of freedom in decision-making and task execution. So sabi dito, laissez-faire leadership is like being a coach who lets the players on the field make their own calls. The leader step back, giving team members to space giving members the space to make decision and execute tasks independently. They provide minimal guidance, trusting their team's abilities to manage themselves effectively. And also, laissez-faire leadership can be compared to a hands-off approach where leaders act as facilitators rather than directors. They offer support and resources, but refrain from micromanaging or closely supervising their team members. This style is effective when working with experienced and self-motivated individuals who thrive with autonomy and responsibility. However, it may not be suitable in situations requiring close oversight or when team members lack the necessary skills or motivation to work independently. An economic system where the government minimizes interference in economic matters, allowing for freedom of trade. This system is based on the belief that economics function most efficiently when there's a hands-off approach by the government. It comes in different forms such as pure laissez-faire, regulated laissez-faire, and market laissez-faire. Let's discuss the advantage and disadvantage of each. So first is pure laissez-faire. The advantages is efficiency. With no government intervention, business can operate at their maximum capacity, leading to economic efficiency. So second is innovation. The freedom to compete, encourage innovation, and develop of new product and services. The third is economic freedom. Business and consumers have the freedom to make their own economic decision without government interface. So the disadvantage of pure laissez-faire is first is inequality. This system can lead to economic inequality as there is no regulation to prevent the accumulation of wealth by a few rather. The second is exploitation. Without regulation, business may exploit worker and consumers. So the third is market failures. There are a risk of market failures such as monopolies as there are no government intervention to prevent them. So the second is regulated laissez-faire. So the advantages is balance. First is balance. It strikes a balance between economic freedom and government intervention rather, which can lead to a more stable economy. So the second is protection. With some level of regulation, there's protection for consumer and worker against exploitation. So third advantage is prevention of market. So failures, the government can step in the prevent market failures such as monopolies. The disadvantage of regulated license fare, first is slower economic growth. Some business may find the regulation restrictive, leading to slower economic growth. So the second is government failures. There's a risk of government failures where the government's decision may not always be the best interest of the economy. So the third is regulatory capture. There's a risk of regulatory capture where business can influence the regulators to act in their favor. So the third is market license fair. So the advantage of market license fair is flexibility. Market license fair allows for flexibility and as businesses can adapt to market changes quickly. So the second is competition. It encourage competition, leading to leading to better products and services. Third is consumer sovereignty. So consumer have the power to make choices based on their preferences. So the disadvantage is uncertainty. There's a higher level of uncertainty as the market is highly dependent on supply and demand. So second is instability. The economy can be unstable as it is susceptible to boom and bust cycle. The third is social costs. There can be social costs such as environmental damage as businesses aim to maximize profits. So these are general points and the actual effects can vary depending on various factors, including the specific policies implemented in a country and the nature of its economy.
Situational leadership po is yung nag-adjust yung leader based sa mga tao na i-lead niya. If nakikita niyang konti lang yung knowledge ng individual, then mas bibigyan niya po yan ng guidance and mas magiging hands-on siya puro. Tsaka mas magiging directive po siya sa pagbibigay ng clear instructions. While if nakikita naman niya experience na yung individual or may knowledge na, pwede na siyang step up na order. Saan sila mag-execute ng task on their own. For example, in a hotel, may bagong housekeeping staff member and unfamiliar po sa ng bagay. So, as a leader na gumagamit ng situational leadership, bibigyan mo siya ng mas detailed and mas hands-on na training like i-demonstrate mo yung proper techniques na dapat niyang malaman para mas maintindihan niya. At habang tumatagal, if nagiging na siya ng experience and knowledge, pwede mo na siyang i-allow na mag-handle ng tasks on their own with occasional guidance na lang. Example naman in tourism industry. Example is, nagkakondak kayo ng city tour with a group of tourists. Sa simula is kailangan yung i-explain lahat at tulungan or sagutin yung mga tourists sa mga questions nila for them to feel more comfortable. And as the tour progresses, pwede na silang hayaan na mag-explore on their own while still being available for assistance na lang if kailan. For the 3 advantages ng situational leadership, first is encourages growth. Natutulungan po ng situational leadership yung individual na mag-grow and mag-take on new challenges. Second is fix any situation. Nai-adjust ng leaders yung style of leading nila based sa pangangailangan ng current situation. And third is nagkakaroon ng comfortable environment para sa members or employees. And the disadvantages naman is, first, pwedeng ma-misunderstood or ma-misinterpret ng ibang members at isipin na nagkakaroon ng bias or special treatment. Second is, it can be challenging for leaders na magkaroon ng mabilisang adjust sa pag-approach sa iba't ibang situations. And last is, malaki yung attention na kailangan ibigay sa situational leadership.
Bureaucratic leadership. The bureaucratic leaders rely on rules, procedures, hierarchies to manage their teams. They prioritize adherence to established protocols and may be resistance to change. One of the scenario in hotel and bureaucratic leadership is hotel industry has different departments and all of them follow the protocols and rules of the management. Like the front office department, they follow the protocols of welcoming the guests and guiding the guests. At the tourism department naman po, for tourism, the tour guides explain to the tourists the guidelines and rules about the place from the hierarchic book. At advantage naman po ng bureaucratic leadership, efficient, reducing the risk of errors, maintaining orders, and disadvantage naman po is lack of creativity, inflexibility, barely adapt any change.